Hi, my name's Pharaoh, and today I'm going to do the Too Long Didn't Watch version of the Fixing Refiners video. Here I have a refiner that is playing up. It seems to think that it's a stellar extractor. Obviously there are lots of other bugs that we could encounter with refiners. This method should fix all of them. The method I'm going to use relies on the idea that when we warp to a system with our freighter, it positions it in a park spot that is ideal for building. So the first thing I'm going to do is warp to a new system. Now that I've arrived at a new system at that neutral spot, I can make a save. And then I will immediately restore that save. Next I'm going to go into the build menu CAN review, and I'm going to start deleting the refiner and the route back to the refiner. So I'm going to go into the room with the refiner in it and delete that room while I'm in it, so that I go outside in my CAN review. And then I can delete the route back, all the way back to the entrance. I'm also going to delete the things around that route, anything that would touch that route on the way back, anything that would make it snap, possibly incorrectly, if I'd built those parts somewhere other than this neutral point. That would also include things above that route. So now I have a clear path from the entrance all the way back to where my refiner was originally. I can now start rebuilding all of the parts that were on that route right back to the refiner, which in this case includes a few other refiners. And then obviously, as I've said before, the idea is that everything that I'm positioning now will not be affected by any snap points. And if those other parts that would have been snapped to were built other than at that neutral spot, then this build won't be misaligned. It's all about getting those things exactly in the spot that they should be when building in that neutral point. If I was going to rebuild the refiners along here, then I would probably want to delete even more rooms to the left here. But for the purposes of this exercise, I'm just going to rebuild this one refiner and focus on this one line. So here I have that rebuilt line of rooms. And if I go right down to the end and go to the refiner that was causing a problem, it no longer has that stellar material in it. Now, because the other rooms that I deleted were also refiners, it's worth checking all of those. And it's also worth checking the stellar extractor core for the same reason. Indeed, I would probably set things running in them and also double check that the stellar extractor was extracting, and then go somewhere else. Fly out, teleport out, go to the anomaly, go to a planet, and then come back and make sure everything's still working. What I occasionally find is that one of the refiners or parts isn't working. And then what I will do is go into CAN review and delete that individual part. I'd then position the same part somewhere else. Replace the part that wasn't working with a new one, and then delete the part I repositioned. This usually fixes the problem, but of course I would go in and test them all over again. Now, depending on where your refiners are, this method could involve a severely large remodeling of your layout. So The other option would be to warp to a neutral position and then reset your freighter base. You can do that using this console on the bridge. Once you hit confirm base deletion, it will reset your freighter back to how it would have been if you'd bought it. Now myself and a few others on Reddit have had some success with this method, and I'm not saying it will work for everybody, and occasionally it has stopped working for me. There's been the occasional refiner that's started playing up again, but then I would just repeat the process. On my permadeath save, which I built with this process in mind, I had no problems whatsoever. As long as I follow this simple process. If I want to refine anything, I first of all make sure my freighter is in the neutral position, which could mean warping somewhere else, unless of course I was already in that place. Once I'm in that neutral position, I can then use my refiners however I want. I can go in and put things into them and set them running and leave them and go somewhere else. And when I return, it should either still be running, or I should be able to pick up the goods that I have been refining while away. If when I return to my freighter, the freighter is in this purple-blue state, as opposed to the cyan state that means that there's something to be picked up, or the red state meaning it's still running, then that isn't necessarily the end of the world. The thing to do is make a manual save, reload the restore point, and this should reset my freighter, and then I should be able to go back to my refiner, because the state should now be in the cyan state or the red state, and then I can continue refining my items. So because this is the too long didn't watch version, I'm not going to go into any more detail. You can find that in my original video. So for now, travel well, I've been Pharaoh, and goodbye.